Hello again. This is the second part of us thinking about different ways to write the sound sh. These two ways are at the beginning of a final syllable. The emotional musician. Shun, T-I spelling, and shun, C-I spelling. And you might be thinking, oh, hang on, this shun isn't at the end of the word. But emotion is a word. I've added the suffix al. The emotional musician. First, let's have a quick look at the different spelling choices for long vowel sounds. A consonant E, A-I. E, double E, E-A and E consonant E. I consonant E, I-G-H. O consonant E, O-A, and the last one, U would be U, and U consonant E. Not forgetting double O for or oo. Now let's write the title of our story, and we can see, yep, we have an emotional person, but I'm not sure it's the musician. We'll write the title and then we'll find out. The emotional musician. So we write the word the, and then emotion, and we add suffix al. The emotional musician would be our spelling language. Musician. And underline it. Then we will find out about who else was feeling a bit emotional. Shannon's second portion had to use T-I and C-I. Shannon's, and we're talking about something that was belonging to her. She had to do this bit of work. So an apostrophe S. Second. Sec-ond. Sec-ond. Portion. Or for or. Portion. A T-I-O-N again. And the first part of our story will be using a lot of them. We introduce the C-I-A-N a bit later on. Had to use. Had to use. Another word where we hear z, but we write the letter S like in use. T-I, and we'll put it in inverted commas because it isn't a word. T-I and C-I. And then a full stop. To not panic again, to not panic, and we don't need CK, it wasn't a one-syllable word, again with AI. She had to think. She had to think of an action she'd done. Think of an action she'd, and we've shortened she'd done, which always looks like it's going to be done, but we say done. Or a person she'd met. Person she'd met. So Shannon has got a strategy for not getting panicky over this piece of work. And let's take a look at our story hint. Oh, music played on a keyboard. The music floating in from another class reminded her of meeting creation. Okay. The music is a spelling language. Floating in, and float, the starter word has an OA spelling. Floating in from. In from. Another class. An author would be the spelling language. Another class. And then a double S. Remind Ed her of meeting. Meet, and then adding suffix ing, and creation. I think her folks must have thought she was a wonderful creation. Creation. And that's how she got that name. Cross the T, dot the I, and a full stop. And the hint for the next bit, a train. Maybe this has got something to do with how they met. Shannon's train had pulled into a station. Okay, so she was already on it. Shannon's and an apostrophe because it's the train she's on, and we use an AI spelling in train. Had pulled. Pull can look a bit like pull. Pulled, and we've added suffix ed into a station. Into a station. And as creation got on, creation got on, and we'll put a comma there to hear the next bit of the sentence. Comma. She dropped a flute case. Drop. Then we double the P before adding suffix ed to keep that short vowel sound short. A flute. And we don't write it with a double O. This is one of the letters that after an L can sound like oo, but we write it with a U. Flute. And then case. And the K is written with a C because it's followed by an A. It had landed. It had landed. Land. No doubling because there was already two consonants at the end of land. Near Shannon's feet, and she picked it up. Shannon's. And her feet definitely belong to her, so we need that apostrophe. Feet. And she picked. Pick. And then suffix ed, even though it did sound like it that time. It up. And a full stop. Oh, definitely somebody else feeling a bit emotional. Maybe creation hadn't noticed that she dropped it. She thinks, what would I have done without that? New paragraph to hear what creation says. Thanks a bundle. Thanks after our speech marks. Thanks. A bun, and then dull will be D-L-E. Thanks a bundle. And a comma, because we go on to say, who said it? Creation had said in an and then emotional. Emotional. Tone. There we know now exactly how she was feeling. I couldn't do all the repetition that's needed if I didn't have that. And here we can see a repetition of music that I think she was needing to practice, perhaps for a concert. Speech marks, I couldn't do. And couldn't, got could, oh, unhappy little duckling, and then an apostrophe for the O in not. I couldn't do all the repetition. Repetition. That's needed. That, and we've shortened it from that is. An apostrophe for the I. Needed. If I didn't have that. You can't play music without your instrument. Didn't, short for did not, have that. And very definitely an exclamation mark. That lets us know exactly how she was feeling. Shannon then looked in the direction of a poster. Shannon then looked. Got the starter word look, and then suffix ed again. Looked in the direction of a poster. Of a poster. And a full stop. Let's see our hint. Oh, that looks like Princess Street in Edinburgh. It had lots of information. Okay, let's get that bit written. It had lots of information about ab, and then the word out, O-U-T, visiting. Visit is another word where we hear z, but we write the letter S. This, it could be our spelling language. The Scottish nation's capital. Scottish with a capital S. And we double that T before we add our vowel suffix. Nations. There we go. Cross the T, dot the I as we check. Yep, that would be a TI word. Capital. Cap-it-al. And a full stop. But what else did she see? Creation's smiling face had been on it. Whoa. Creations. And we definitely need an apostrophe before the S, because it's her face we're writing about. Smiling. Face had been on it. Face, A-C-E, for ace, had been on it. And another exclamation mark because Shannon was amazed. There. Let's find out what happens next. Ooh, something to do with fractions. Creation had then sat facing Shannon. So a new paragraph. Creation had then sat facing, and here we drop the E at the end of face to add the suffix beginning with a vowel. Because the I in ing will also let us know to say the sound S. Facing Shannon. And then we get to hear a little more about it. She'd been rushing, she said. She'd, short for she had, there's our apostrophe, been rushing. A comma, and then she said. And then we get to hear something else she said. So speech marks for this bit. A fraction later, a fraction. Now we get to hear what the fraction illustration was about. A little bit of time later would be what it means. Later. And the is A. A fraction later, and I'd have missed it. Let's write I'd have first. I'd, we have the word I, and then the word would loses quite a few letters. I'd have missed it. And suffix ed sounded a bit like t again. An exclamation mark to show us how she was feeling. And here we can see glasses, a face, and a radio. I wonder what that's about. Visiting. Visiting could be our spelling language. Visiting. An optician, a beautician, and an electrician. They're all people who would give you answers. Right. An optician. C-I-A-N. Comma. Beautician. C-I. That's when I check, when I dot that I. And an electrician. Electrician. Checked again by slowing down a bit. And when I dot the I, did not. And we've written it separately to emphasize the not. Put me in. Put me in a good position. Position. To get here. On. And I think we'll be putting time on the next page. Time. And a full stop and close the speech marks. Oh, somewhere we are going to have a mathematician, I think. She had laughed. She had laughed. Laugh at Uncle Gary's hat. And then we add suffix ed. New paragraph. Shannon had laughed too. Had laughed too. A double O. An extra O as well as the first one. Because Shannon had laughed as well as creation. She hadn't met. Hadn't, short for had not, hadn't. Met. And I think we might be about to find out about that mathematician. Mathematician. And well done if you remembered that CI spelling for sh. Because mathematicians would give us answers about maths. A clinician. Or a politician. Politician. And a full stop. She'd, short for she had, she'd met a musician from a poster. Met a musician. And again, we think of that Z in music and write an S. A musician from a poster. And an exclamation mark. And we just have one word left. It's a new one, so listen to the syllables. Satisfaction. And that's what that face is all about. Sat. Is faction. We have gone back to satisfaction with T-I-O-N. Satisfaction is a feeling. Shannon was very satisfied. She had met and helped a musician from a poster. Well done, Shannon, and well done you. There has been a lot to think about in this story. Now let's read it. The emotional musician. Shannon's second portion had to use T-I and C-I. To not panic again, she had to think of an action she'd done or a person she'd met. The music floating in from another class had reminded her of meeting creation. Shannon's train had pulled into a station, and as creation got on, she dropped a flute case. It had landed near Shannon's feet, so she picked it up. "Thanks a bundle," creation had said in an emotional tone. "I couldn't do all the repetition that's needed if I didn't have that." Shannon then looked in the direction of a poster. It had lots of information about visiting the Scottish nation's capital. Creation's smiling face had been on it. Creation had then sat facing Shannon. She'd been rushing, she said. "A fraction later and I'd have missed it." Visiting an optician, a beautician, and an electrician did not put me in a good position to get here on time. She had laughed. Shannon had laughed too. She hadn't met a mathematician, a clinician, or a politician. She'd met a musician from a poster. Satisfaction. Perhaps you'd like to read over the story again and then go and read it to somebody else. Maybe they could read it with you. Thank you for joining me. And thank you again for working so hard.